Debris field confirms Air France jet crash. And race against the clock to find black boxes. Searchers from 3 continents were focusing on a remote Atlantic Ocean stretch where Air France Flight 447 mysteriously went down in water thousands and thousands of feet deep, leaving debris scattered for miles and little hope of finding any survivors. The Brazilian Defense Minister confirmed that a 3-mile wide area of wreckage found more than 300 miles off the South American coast by military planes came from the doomed flight. The Airbus 330-200 disappeared Sunday night in a severe lightning storm while cruising at 35,000 feet, carrying 228 people from Rio de Janeiro to Paris. The crew never sent a Mayday message, and automated transmissions from the cockpit suggest loss of cabin pressure and electrical failure. Most likely, the plane was destroyed or broke up by a severe updraft or intense lightning at 35,000 feet. The hunt for the plane's so-called black box voice and flight data recorders will be extremely difficult considering the wide area of the search and the ocean's great depth. It's going to be very hard to search because the toaster-sized black boxes could be underwater up to 2 miles or more deep, and the bottom of the ocean in the area is very mountainous, very difficult terrain. Search crews headed to the area with some of the most advanced military and commercial technologies. A sonar and radar-equipped U.S. Navy plane has arrived in Brazil with 21 crew members to run low-altitude search flights over the ocean, and a French ship headed to the site with unmanned submersibles capable of exploring depths of up to 19,600 feet deep. We are in a race against the clock, said the French Prime Minister. Pingers attached to the recorders transmit signals for 30 days before their batteries run out. Still though, it will be very hard to find the black boxes because of the very deep water. Ocean depths averaged just over 9,000 feet around the area where some of the debris was located, according to AccuWeather.com, which said the search effort is likely to be hampered or hindered by heavy thunderstorms emerging off the African coast. Brazilian military pilots spotted 2 areas of floating debris approximately 35 miles apart, or 60 kilometers, and the area is not far off the flight path of Flight 447. The cause of the crash will not be known until the black boxes are recovered, which could take days or weeks, if at all. But weather and aviation experts are focusing on the possibility of a collision with an intense, brutal storm that could have sent winds of 100 miles per hour or more straight into the airliner's path. The airplane was flying at 500 miles per hour or more northeast, and the air is coming at them at 100 miles per hour, said an expert senior meteorologist. that probably started the process or ended up in some catastrophic failure of the airplane. Again, most likely, it broke up at 35,000 feet. Towering Atlantic storms are common this time of year near the equator, an area known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone. That's where the northeast trade winds meet the southeast trade winds. It's the meeting place of the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere's weather. Several veteran pilots of big airliners said it was extremely unlikely that Flight 447's crew intended to punch or go through a killer storm. A storm that rose to heights of 50,000 feet, making it impossible to fly over. Supposedly, nobody in their right mind would ever go through a thunderstorm, said a captain for a major U.S. airline who has flown internationally for 26 years, including more than 3,000 hours on the same A330 jetliner. Pilots often work their way through bands of storms, watching for lightning flashing through clouds ahead and maneuvering around them, he said. They may have been sitting there thinking we can weave our way through this stuff. If they were trying to lace their way in and out of these things, they could have been caught by a severe updraft. And the same violent weather that might have led to the crash also could impede this recovery efforts. Anyone who is going there to try to salvage this airplane within the next couple months will have to deal with these huge thunderstorms coming through on an almost daily basis. So you're talking about a monumental salvage effort. The chance of finding survivors now is very, very small, even non-existent, said the French minister overseeing transportation. Supposedly, the plane was not supposed to break up in such turbulence, or lightning is not supposed to be able to bring it down. But just like the Titanic, the ship, and sank in 1912, many years ago, they said it was unsinkable. There's nothing, well, in actuality, in the real world, there's nothing too big to fail, no matter what they say. The distance between the two debris fields suggests that other aircraft parts, including black boxes, could be spread over hundreds of miles. Among the passengers were 61 French citizens, 58 Brazilians, 26 Germans, 9 Chinese, and 9 Italians. So, technology's limits were being tested. Perhaps they should have tried to turn around, or perhaps they did. Nonetheless, may the Lord rest their souls. And once again, all these things are more signs of the end times, transition days. With all our technology and all the things that we have, still there's something bigger than all that. And once again, all these are more signs. The transition is ongoing. It's happening every day, all around the world, in many different ways, with many different events. And there are many, many signs happening.